Right. So how do I get rid of aha? There we are. I hope. I hope I'm alive. Let's have a look. Live. Okay. So we're gonna go back. Yeah, yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm still doing my best to get to learn this YouTube channel of mine. But hey, how are you? Good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Carol Matibula here once again, coming back with this Black Lives Matters. And over the past few days, I've been really talking about this, but very emotionally, because this has been a struggle for God as long as I shall remember. And here we are in 2020, in a historic, I think it's definitely historic moment for lots of things. This 2020, we have seen the spiritual shift that myself, I'm still puzzled and confused really of what's happening. Is this the dawn of something new? Are we experiencing moments of nature speaking silently to us? So there are lots of questions that are going on through my mind, and also having to realize that the deepest frustrations, really deepest embedded frustrations as a black woman living in this world, suddenly they are surfacing. They are suddenly they've been moved away from the bath of the ocean, and suddenly they are swimming, and they are swimming up so that I can speak. And I realize that God, it seems as if we have been suffocated for so long that we couldn't breathe. That's why the word I can't breathe, it's such a powerful word. And thank you, Black Lives Matters, for standing out. And we need to stand out and keep really expressing our feelings. And never again shall we be treated the way our forefathers were treated. And we are always intimidated by either systematic financial blockages in our neighborhoods, in our society as black people, either health organizations making sure that they will impinge us to make us believe that we don't deserve as much. There's lots of things that black people go through that I have had myself as a South African, of course, living abroad after so many years. And as I have said, the sad part of me was that when I traveled out of South Africa, I was looking for the new, because in my mind I thought only the ones who were a little bit crazy when it comes to the white community were the white people in South Africa, because that's what I was exposed to. And having to travel the world, and I realized that this is actually the madness of this so-called democracy. What is democracy? What is it built upon? And you realize that democracy serves the few, and lucky we are giving voices. Lucky we can express how we feel. We can talk about our experiences and share. Bear with me, you guys. I just need a little bit of light. It's a little bit dark in here. Just 1 second. I'm with you in a moment. Oh dear, what is my 1 second? So sorry. I just need a little bit of light so I can really express myself with this one. Bear with me. There we go. Yeah, just a little bit of light. You're gonna see it, but it's okay. Yeah, so we need to take this moment and do something with it. We need to take this moment and express our feelings, express our disappointment to our brothers in the world. Being a black woman and black man in this world, it does not matter how much you have achieved. Someone always wants to believe that whoever you are, they have made you. It's struggle that sometimes there's so many layers of this racism. There's so many layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. And what it does, it makes you feel like you can't breathe. And suddenly you have to always be extra polite. You gotta be so that you can belong. And some of us, and you don't, there's this word in the black community that they call people, how do you say, coconut, meaning that you are white inside, you're black inside, and they blame you for that. And I say to them, it is maybe high time that we stop blaming one another and realize that we have been living under a system that pushed our head into the water, that we had to breathe underwater. And today there's much in the United Kingdom which I'm really, really fascinated about, and I want to know the outcome as the extreme rights of white community and the hooligans, whatever you might call them. They are out there marching because they want to be heard. And I say to them, and I say today that to a white person who believes that black life matters, and he comes and say all life matters. And I say to them, think, take a moment and think and look around you. Look around your system. Does it really, your system says all life matters? Or your system says you are the one who deserves to live freely and happy, and you are the one to tell people how to live and how to go about. You are the one who makes other people feel like they have to be under your spell so that they can be able to enjoy their rightful life that was given to them. There are many things that we see as black people, and we take that little thing that we have given us, the little breath that you have given us for us to breathe from. We have said yes for centuries, and now you keep on humiliating us, and the humiliations don't stop. And I say to myself, to you white brothers, especially those extremists, the KKK, whoever you are out there, the sadness is in your domain. The sadness is in your domain. And why I'm saying this, over the years, over the centuries, you have acquired wealth more than anyone in this planet. And through that, you have become very relaxed. You have become very, how do you say, you ended up thinking as if it was just a pattern designed for you. And because of that, you took your fight and your humiliation to build your wealth as normality. And you infected to others as others were designed to be your puppets for you to walk all over, for you to decide how much they have to work and how much they have to stop. How much they have to be lovers. I realize in the United Kingdom that, and I'll say this because of United Kingdom for me was a wake-up call, like, wow, what the hell is going on here? Yes, I've lived in Belgium. Racism in Belgium is very clear, as all over the world, but in the United Kingdom was very, very confusing, very, very psychologically damaging, because it seemed as if they were giving people freedom while they were scarring people. I realized I have never been in the system of the government where the government looks after me. I have always worked very hard to try to put food on my table and to pay for my things. And I realized that you've got this system where the government help others by giving them accommodation, by giving them food and all that. And I realized that in a black community is that the government can only give a black family, a black woman, a house, if she does not live with her husband, she only lives with her kids. Breaking the structure that breaks family, break them, because when you break them, confused they are. And this things, you see, there is this, you have to understand, and we're not blaming you because of you, maybe you're not aware. We are aware that you're moving with the change. You are aware that you're moving with the new. And of course, these statues that you are fighting for, these monuments that you are fighting for, that you call them your history, they have done the most horrific things on this planet. Those people. And you're fighting to preserve them because of somewhere, somehow. You want to preserve that madness. You want to preserve that you want to preserve that animalistic behavior. They behaved like animals. They took people and put them into zoo. They took women and they sold them. And if they thought that they were not good enough, they would just toss them in the ocean as if they were just objects and all this. So for us to stand and say, it is enough. Remember, we carry our spirits one way or the other. Our DNA carries the resonation of the struggles of our forefathers. So we know, though our history is not fully written, we know because of you are also infecting exactly the same principles and systems that you have done to humiliate our people even today. So I say, as you march and try to speak out and say, yes, there's 60-something killings in the United Kingdom done by black people. There's 60-something killings in the United Kingdom done by the black people, or wherever in Belgium. You might think that, okay, I've got a right to give apartment to whoever I want, and you realize that in South Africa, the South African system, the African system, it's controlled by the Western world, and of course the Chinese people. There is this war of fighting. Of fighting for territorial, even though some of you, because of the financial system that you have created, whereby this financial world, it seems seemingly as if it's better than humans. You think you can control our lives because of financial systems that you have created to create this dark, roaming giant of humiliation, of insults, of really minimizing the souls that has rightfully the right to be in this planet. So I say, bravo to the black people, bravo to those who are doing their level best to keep marching peacefully. And when they march peacefully, when they decide to cancel the marches so that they can stay in peace, it is not fear of you. Now, silent and observation of your own anger and actions, it is really, really something that will prevail for our soul. Just to watch you, what makes you you? How do you think? Really. As you walk around with your kids, and we share the same school where we bring our kids together, where your women and your men are educating our kids, maybe this is a moment that this dialogues, this whatever this Black Lives Matters, that it's taking place at this moment. We have already said our words, and at this present moment, it's to watch, because we have created a platform for you guys to now come in and say your piece and say what do you want to see. And when you protect those monuments, what about shall we put our monuments that we were scarred? Shall we maybe start designing those women who their legs were, put into the leg of the horse, so that they can see how the baby looks like inside of the belly of a woman while the woman is pregnant, while the black woman gets killed and her baby gets torn. I mean, there you have done, your community has done the most horrific things on this planet. Horrific. And if you think those memories will just fade away, a black person will just forget them and will live in peace, it's not possible. But what we are saying only if you tend to recognize that we are existing, and we've got a right to be in this planet. So will all those things get forgotten? Today, slavery still goes on. There are those who do not have voices that are really, really being captured. by this systematic we call democracy. Democracy does not serve everyone. And as you're matching those who are at the extreme, think yourself, do you believe that your kids will ever be safe when you want other people not to live in a safe environment throughout the world? The story of America, it's not only the American story. The story of the United Kingdom, it's not only the United Kingdom story. All that is African understand the humiliation. And this humiliation, we're saying all over the world, we do not take it. So this is Carol Matebula saying, one love to my brothers and sisters. And at this present moment, let's watch and keep singing the song. Nobody needs to be humiliated. White person, move away from this, this fake fantasy that all you have created, that you're the only one who roams around this world and everybody, you call the shots and we all have to bow, 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 bow. That's not true. I think all of us, we have so much to teach one another, to learn from one another, to love one another, to hug one another, and I feel so, for the first time in these 2 weeks, I could breathe really, and I see people are talking. I mean, where I'm at, to start with, in Belgium, for me to go out there and acquire an apartment that it's decent, it will take organizing one of my friends to my friends so that I can acquire an apartment. But it takes you a second to go to my continent and get the best before my people. How can we live in a society like that? So when you march and think that, they are thinking that they are taking over, or Black Lives Matter, now they are powerful. I hear you call them, they are a political movement. Indeed, we are a political movement. Of course it is. But it's peaceful political movement that will stay for generations to generation to come. And I also believe that it's actually a very peaceful movement. Yes, vandalism, somewhere, somehow, in that vandalization, it was not only the black people. As they say, they don't own anything. And you'll keep on calling them thugs until you realize that they need to own a percentage that keeps their lives safe, that protects their babies, that as your son wants to be protected and your daughter needs to be protected, so the black child and the black boy needs to be protected and safe, needs to feel like she has a community that is respectful. Not always watching you doing your thing, watching you over and over and over, and watching you and wondering why it's not working, while you have created systematic that will make sure that it does not work, including our money. You can see how gullible and how soft we are. Even though we know that the system does not serve us, we still rely in your bank system, because of once a black person tries to have a little bit of money, quickly you send your situation, you send your gangsterism for them to come and see where does he acquire money from. So we are not even allowed. So you're creating these problems that you see today, you have created because of greed. Once we eliminate greed and we eliminate ego, and we start looking at each other as brothers and sisters, and really start looking at your constitution. How does it work? Your articles number 20, article number 59, whatever, all these articles that you created. Look at those articles and ask yourself, who do they serve? We need to start really realizing that probably it's high time that each and every organization that we call humans, they should have their financial system where we bank. And if our banks are losing, it is then our duty, but we have channels that are given to us and say, it can't be the World Bank. Because the mere fact is that it's not the World Bank. It is systematic that protects the Western world at large. So there's this brotherhood system that is going on. From here, from each and every corner of the world, you have a systematic that works for you. And only when people come and start saying Black Lives Matter because of you've got a knee on our brother, you kill our sons every day, and all over the world these things are happening. Prisons are felt with our brothers, and so always humiliated. So this Black Lives Matters, I think it's such an incredible time, and we are all in. I'm in it. Yes, I'm a spiritual being. I've done lots of spirituality, but always ask myself, will I always take this insult? Just going to buy a coffee in a coffee shop. Sometimes you have to live there with being scarred because of there's a blonde girl who thinks that you deserve your croissant needs to be thrown on your face because of you're a dirty black person, or you are devil, as of course anything that is black, it's classified as a monster in your movies while you teach your kids. So there's lots of things that you need to look at and really ask yourself, what are they saying, these people? What we are saying is that we deserve to live in peace. We firstly need peace. That's number one. And number two, our financial system, we will sort them out. But it's not up to you to block us and create this systematic that hypnotize a black person to failure. And so that you can say they are failing. They don't have their fathers. The kids are born alone while you're actually killing their fathers, while you're actually catching the kids from the age of 13, harassing them, making them believe that they're criminals, so that when they get to a certain age and you approve and say, I've always said you're a criminal. Think, white people, think with us. Think with us, how are we going forward? I know you don't know, as the system was created for you by those monuments that you are trying to preserve. And those monuments were never for peace. And they left Europe and went around the world, including when they conquered America. It was not conquered fairly. It was conquered with lots of people being killed. And today we are a new generation and saying that it's about communication. We're living in times where we are communicating. So let's communicate and say, how do we erase this madness of harassment, this madness of gangsterism. The police system, for me, I see it as gangsters. I've seen cops in Europe, how they spoke to me, but because I knew my rights, I could just crush that gangsterism within a blink of an eye. So, and also with the shops, there are so many times where you go to the shop, you acquire broadband so that you can have internet connection, and you get messed up like crazy. They give you their system and then they mess you up, and then suddenly you are blacklisted, but realizing that the system actually always makes you want to feel as if whatever you do as a black person, you lose. Unless if you work 20 times or you start maybe begging and you start really selling your soul so that you can blend into the system. But then you're also a puppet. But when you remain who you are, you can never succeed in this world because of they do not want to see you believing that you are. So there's lots of things to think about. And those who are marching today out there, those extreme rights and etc. Ask yourself, do you want rights to keep on being angry? Do you want rights to keep on living in this isolated world where you think you are the only pure race? Duh. You're the only pure race. What pure race? I mean, really now. You go to number 2, you go to the toilet, you do number 1, and you have to clean yourself. You go to you do number 1, and you have to wash your teeth, and you have to do all the things that I do. You have to clean yourself every day, 2 times a day, so that you don't smell, and we all do this. I don't care that you're from so-called this theatrically nonsense, that there's royal there, and you come out with your horses, and you wear your uniform red and white, and create all this hypnosis of watch me, always asking for attention, and you realize that it's just a theater. It's not real. what's real, it's peace. If we can all create all these theaters and start enjoying them and start realizing that if I have a choir for my kids, what's enough? It's enough. Let me give another person next to me, because now we are neighbors. Oh, but no, you'll eat and throw away food while the man is lying on the floor, dying in front of you, with hunger, and you don't see that because of you are numb into this dark systematic that does not see the pain, only helps you to prevail your pain so that you are not living in pain. As long as you see another one's pain and you don't see it, you are yourself a prison of that pain, because of you have been made numb. And we have been made to believe that if we acquire these mummified papers, we call money, that it's completely made out of trees that are killed, and realizing that we are all sperm that is swimming into the uterus of the earth, so we can get to know who we are. Who are we? Sometimes we hide ourselves via this so-called polished world, this comfortability, and still don't know who we are. But we have to acquire more cars and more houses and more and more and more and more and more, so we can identify ourselves as we are. And we all struggle with these things. And maybe it's time that we find a way how to breathe as we are breathing at this moment. Yes, Corona is strengthening us, but still, in this Corona, still our life being threatened, we are still not afraid to talk and say we need change so life can be respected, including the life of the animals. Animals are used today to create this scientific world that is completely destroying nature to the core, so that a human being can feel intelligent. So there's lots of things to think about. Stay peaceful as you're doing your marches today. Speak, but do not blame anyone. Take your responsibility and move forward. And as I say, befriend those you do not know. Stop living in such so-called the blue rays, the only original rays. That it's just a madness that you need to stop within your head and realize that everyone in this planet is a pure race. This is Carol Matebula and say, Black lives matter, all life matters, and it's important that white people, you take your responsibility to guide if you want to guide. You call this what do you call this what do you call it again? This democracy, it's designed by you and it's failing. Your democracy, it's failing. Maybe it's high time that you bring something on board, because everybody said yes to your democracy and it hasn't worked, and it's still not working. So find another ways to try to become a leader if you want to be a leader, because you are given those channels to lead. But your leading system at this moment, it is definitely not working. And maybe it's high time that you bring something that can work. So this is Carol Matebula saying, one love to you all. And I say, we are the better generations. And I'm glad that we have a dialogue. Our fathers and our ancestors died without any sense of direction where they were going. We, on the other hand, we are given a dialogue to speak. So one love, and saying much, celebrate life, and also understand we are all belonging in this world. This is Carol Matebula saying, let's stay peace, march. Today we are watching silently as we are. And if there is violence out there, forgive us. If you're going to get any humiliation because of the those of us who are a little bit crazy, because of the system has completely made them completely crazy, we apologize for any enemy's behavior that you will encounter on the Black community today. But as I can think, we are all looking forward to understand each other peacefully.